Hi, I'm Chap Bettis, author of The Disciple Making Parent, and this is my audio blog, where I read some of my blog posts in audio format for your convenience. In today's episode, we're going to be thinking about leading well in the storms. The following is a rough excerpt from a resource I'm working on. In this chapter, I argue that, quote, managing our households well, 1 Timothy 3, does not mean that we'll have no problems. It does not mean that we have to appear as though we have it together all the time. But it does mean that when the storms come, that we'll handle them in a godly manner. Understanding the storms will come, how does a leader respond in a godly manner? And I would suggest that there are at least 3 steps in the cycle. First, we seek to prevent problems. Rather than having a reactive leadership, a wise father and pastor tries to think ahead. Some problems come because leaders are reactive and not proactive. We exasperate the flock through poor leadership when we merely respond to issues. Just as a regular oil change keeps a car's engine healthy, so many actions, quote, oil the natural frictions of life. Whether leading my family or church, there are rhythms I can establish that keep everyone healthy. For example, as a pastor, I might schedule a regular marriage or parenting conference. I do this not because of any specific problems, but because I know the nature of sin and the need for regular training in the home. For a parent, this might mean not keeping our children out too late so that we don't have issues the next day. Or for a wise dad or mom, it might mean connecting to the heart during the teenager years, because you know that there will be bumps when they become a teenager. A smart person looks down the road. As a leader, I want to prevent exasperating the people under my care. So first, we seek to prevent problems. However, though poor leadership can cause problems, good leadership will not eliminate problems. And that brings us to the second principle. Second, we want to lean into the problems. We seek to lean into the problems. Since I'm not expecting family life or leadership to be problem-free, I'm not surprised when issues come up. I'll see these issues as coming from the Lord's hand to sanctify me and to mature me. And this is why a church or a family has leaders. And by way of analogy, we understand the true skills of a commercial pilot, not when the weather is smooth, but when it's stormy. For a family leader, this means I don't ignore an issue hoping it goes away. I learn to move toward hard conversations. I let the messiness of my family come out. I make sure I respond appropriately, not overreacting harshly or passively under-responding. I learn to discern what is important and what's not. I ask others for help as appropriate. And it means I move toward the problem, even if I don't know what to do. I realize I'm in a providential storm that the Lord has allowed for my good and His glory, and He's put me in the pilot seat. So second, we seek to lean into the problems. But handling conflict in the moment is not where I stop. What happens after the crisis is over? Third, we learn from problems. Someone has said, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. The point? That a person should learn from mistakes. A wise leader will analyze the problem and create structures to eliminate those problems. In other words, a wise leader has the self-awareness to ask, why did we get into this mess? What can I do differently next time? How could this have been prevented? A wise leader is constantly learning lessons about himself, about others, and about helpful and unhelpful environments. He or she is developing convictions about leading others that can decrease problems. So third, we learn from our problems. Families and churches will all have issues and conflicts, but wise leaders will lead with a steady hand through the storm and learn lessons for next time. Managing your household well doesn't mean you have no problems, but that you handle those problems well. Thank you for listening to the Disciple Making Parent audio blog. This information comes from our forthcoming book, Managing Your Household Well. In that resource, I seek to help church leaders understand the leadership lessons that they can learn while leading their home. Look for it in the future or on our website. That's Managing Your Household Well. Thanks for listening.